The king used a piece of skin to choose a husband for the princess. Whoever could recognize what kind of skin it was would win her hand in marriage. The first man, a farmer, carefully touched the skin and guessed it was pigskin. He was wrong. The second man, a priest, studied it closely and said it was the skin of a god. He was also wrong. Then a handsome prince stepped forward. The princess immediately smiled with joy. But he, too, gave the wrong answer. To everyone's surprise, an ugly wild man stepped out. He claimed he knew every animal. He simply sniffed the skin and said, "Flea skin." The king's smile froze. The princess realized he was right and ran away in tears. She climbed to the city wall and swore she would rather die than marry the wild man. But the king told her that breaking the promise would shame the royal family. To protect the honor of the crown, the princess sadly walked down the stairs and left with the wild man. They passed through forests and cliffs, then reached the cave where the wild man lived. Inside were bones and remains of animals. The princess curled up in fear. Living with the wild man was painful for her. One day, while he went hunting, she quietly sharpened a bone into a knife. Suddenly, she heard a sound outside the cave. Across the cliff stood a woman. The princess saw hope. She quickly told the woman her story, begging for help. But the cliff between them was too wide, and the woman could not reach her. She could only leave in silence. Just as the princess lost all hope, the woman returned. She had brought her son, who was a tightrope walker. He carried the princess on his back across a rope stretched over the cliff. But the wild man smelled the scent of strangers and chased after them. Luckily, the son cut the rope just in time, and the wild man fell off the cliff. The princess hugged the woman and her son with joy. They prepared to drive her back to the palace. As everyone celebrated, the wild man suddenly appeared again. They all hid behind a giant rock, but the wild man used his sharp nose to find them. The son sprayed kerosene and lit a fire, but the wild man quickly put it out and brutally killed the whole family. The princess begged him for mercy. His heart softened, and he carried her on his shoulders, heading back to the cave. During this quiet moment, the princess pulled out the bone knife she had hidden. She stabbed and killed the wild man. At that time, the king was gravely ill. When he heard the princess had returned, he rushed out of his room. The princess stood in the palace, covered in blood, holding the wild man's head. Seeing his daughter survive, the king felt deep regret. The next day, he gave the throne to the princess.